case briefs, and so much more. LSData's got what you're looking for.
In a convoluted 1979 case in Maryland, a woman named Joyce Lillian Pope was found entangled in a grievous saga of child abuse and misprision of a felony. Pope, who initially offered sanctuary to Melissa Norris and her infant, did not anticipate a violent episode that would lead to shocking allegations against her. Melissa Norris, a young mother suffering from a severe mental illness, one day had a violent religious frenzy where she brutally beat her infant, claiming to represent God and purging Satan from the child. Pope, who had taken Norris under her wing and provided shelter for her and the child, shockingly watched the atrocious act without providing any assistance or protection for the child, leading to the infant's tragic demise. In the initial lawsuit, Pope was found guilty of child abuse and misprision of a felony. The court ruled that although Pope hosted Norris and her child out of kindness, she essentially assumed some level of responsibility during their stay. The court was particularly critical of Pope's failure to seek medical assistance after the brutal assault, broadly interpreting such omission as a component of child abuse. Pope, dissatisfied with the verdict, appealed to the Court of Appeals of Maryland. The appeals court took a more nuanced view of Pope's responsibilities. Citing Maryland child abuse law, the court cleared Pope, pointing out that the statute's requirements were not met. One had to be responsible for the child and willfully abuse them to be guilty of child abuse. While Pope failed to take action to protect the child, the court did not find sufficient evidence to establish that she willfully abused the child or considered herself responsible for the infant. Consequently, the child abuse conviction was overturned. Furthermore, in regards to the charge of misprision of a felony, the Court of Appeals announced that this was no longer a crime in the state of Maryland, thus reversing the lower court's decision. Pope's shocking trial serves to highlight the dissonance when considering not only moral obligations, but also rigid state laws. It also shapes the complex task courts face when balancing humaneness with the black and white letter of the legal system.
Case briefs, and so much more. LSData's got what you're looking for. Visit LSD.law, elevate your mind. Leave the stress of class.